Hi everybody, I'm Mark Chaffardini with Go See Talk. I'm here with Jason Eisener. Welcome to Fantastic Fest 2022. How's it going today? How's things in your world?
Great, man. I'm so excited to be here. Austin's like kind of the second home for me, where I've gotten, this has been like the first place that actually has accepted my work like outside of like my hometown. So back in 2007, I made like a fake trailer for a movie. The trailer was called Hobo with a Shotgun, and it won a contest here at South by Southwest, and put on by South by and Robert Rodriguez. And that was the first time I ever played anything out of my hometown, and Austin like accepted me like so much and supported my work ever since. So it's so awesome to be back and to bring my second film here, where it kind of feels like bringing it home.
Well, Alien Slumber Party Abduction is one of my favorite skits.
Oh,
I
wow.
love the ingenuity of it, and it's just such a potent, visceral experience, and it's over like, what happened? So with Kids vs. Aliens, we kind of get to know what about these aliens and a little more. So
yeah,
can you talk to me about the development of this?
Yeah, so we had made that short film like 10 years ago, and it's always been in the back of my head that like I'd love to expand it like into a feature film or just do something with kids, like fighting aliens, like just taking that kind of like concept, or just the bare bones of the short film. But I was talking to Brad Miska, who's one of the producers of the VHS films, and we were talking about doing something, and I suggested the idea of turning that short into a feature, and he loved it. And he pitched it to Mark Ward at RLJE, and he loved it and said that that short was one of his favorites from the VHS franchise, and loved to see me make another film, and so he like supported it immediately and greenlit the project. But yeah, it's a movie. It's definitely the most personal film I've ever made. It's very inspired by like my childhood and my childhood fears as well too. And so, yeah.
Well, I think the greatest compliment I can give it is it feels like an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
It's just like it's kind enough and approachable enough, but then it does get like 200 F-bombs in the course of 90 minutes, and it's just like, it's like it goes for the throat, so to speak. But I love the characters. I love the brother and sister dynamic.
Oh, great.
I even love just the intro, like, we're not gonna take a dinosaur over there. It's just like It's like how much energy or how much fun was it crafting those things to really?
Oh, so much fun. Yeah, like that was like every day on set was like trying to create like a safe space for like the kids and crew and everyone to just like tap into their childhood and their imaginations, and just like I wanted everyone to feel like they had the freedom to pitch ideas and like give me ideas. And so a lot of the ideas like come from the kids, and like we wrote the script or whatever, but we knew that we were just like two older guys like writing a script with kids talking, and so we always leaned on them to like freshen up our dialogue or to bring ideas to their characters. And so yeah, for me working with kids is just like so fun, because there's this like I don't know, like to allow for the freedom of the imagination. Like I come to set like with my plans of what I want to do, but when I get there I kind of throw it all away, and lean on the kids to like figure out what they would think would be cool or fun, and then we try to do that, because they would always have better ideas than the adults.
Okay, so dinosaur mask, green clown wig, like red ruby jewel. It was so inventive. You could see this cool. being a cartoon or something.
Yeah,
like
totally.
That. Yeah,
absolutely. Like it's very inspired by my childhood and my current love of the action figures that I grew up loving. And like the first storytelling that I did was playing with my action figures and like using the universes that those artists like created with those action figures, and then as a kid, taking them and making my own, or like taking, a wrestling action figure and making it go up against like Shudder from Ninja Turtles, and I would figure out how those two universes like would collide, So I was like very inspired by like Masters of the Universe and She-Ra, and how like those, like when I was a kid, that was my favorite thing, and I got lost in the universe of that. So I wanted to create something that could do something similar, that had its own universe, that could be as like expansive, and that I could make multiple films out of it, or make action figures. Like to me, like any character design has to be like cool enough to be an action figure, you know? And so like I like that you like took to like the colors of that character and the design of it, because it's like that's kind of what it's like for me in the costume room or whatever when we're trying to figure out what the look is. It's like I want it to look like a cool action figure all the time. Every character gotta be a cool action figure.
And I think too, the aliens have such an interesting mythology. You know, they can they transform using their chemicals. So it's like I could see that. You know, you get the alien action figure, you know, in Target or whatever, like with slime spewing ability.
Yeah, or like the one of the main centerpieces is in the spacecraft, where like every playset when I was a kid had like a slime sort of playset, you know? Like Ninja Turtles had like a thing where it was like a toilet that you put slime through and then it would pour down over the figure, or Masters of the Universe had the slime pit where it was like a giant like dinosaur skull that would like you put slime into it and it would go over your action figures. So I was like, I need to have that play set for my movie, you know. So there is one of those like in the film.
Well, I love that you're also able to bring in wrestling to it.
Yeah,
wrestling's big in your world, so it's like you've even got the kids fighting. Like I think the wording is the fate of the world depends on this match. So like you take it to 11 when you include wrestling.
Yeah, well that's like I said, like my first like storytelling was like when I was a kid we would watch like wrestling, and this was like during like the Hulkamania era and Macho Man, Randy Savage, Undertaker, Jake the Snake Roberts, these large than life characters. Those were like my comic book like heroes, and so I was so inspired by them. Like we would make our own ring in the living room and then raid my parents' closets for like costumes and put our own themes on stereos, and then like make belts out of cardboard and whatnot. And we could create our own little federations, and so for me it's like the kids in my movie in Kids vs. Aliens, they're kind of doing something similar, or like how I would just take, like, as a kid, like, I would just take, like a Ninja Turtle or a wrestler or a Ghostbuster, and I just, like, bring it all together and, like, to form my own sort of kind of thing. And that's kind of like what the kids do in this. It's like they can take wrestling, they're taking dinosaurs, they're taking, like, fantasy movies and all this stuff and kind of blending it together.
Well, I also love the sword too, because it reminded me of Lionos, the Sword of Omens.
Oh, wow.
Like the curves. So I'm probably projecting, but like,
no, that's cool.
Is there anything else that you wanted to put in? Like, well, it feels like this movie may go on.
Yeah, that's the idea. I left the breadcrumbs there, so that if you are lucky enough to get a sequel and if people like it enough, tell Shudder you like it and that you want a sequel. Because we have like such big ideas for the universe and where it goes. This is just, I feel, just the start of something that could be so much bigger. And like I was saying, like I was inspired by like He-Man and like She-Ra and how big those universes are. Yeah. I've got that all like plotted out. Like I got the whole world and like everything to play in. So I would love nothing more than just to get right back on set and continuing the story of this, because it was like the funnest time I've ever had, like making anything in my life, and I'm already just so nostalgic for being on set with like all those kids, like in the energy that was there and how much fun we were having. Like I just want to do it all over again.
Well, there's one thing that I do have to ask you about. So the young brother is the director, and he says something very early on when Sam's critiquing, like, should I use a gun or a sword? Yes. And he's like, shut up, I don't care, and I need to get my shot. So
yeah.
Was that young Jason?
Yes, it was. Okay. Yes, it was. And like, it's so funny because like I'm so lucky I had such a great group of friends growing up that like gave me all their weekends and all their off time to like be in my movies, and like it's so funny when I look back at it, like I'll think like, man, like I can't believe, like I had them out in the coldest winters, like filming crazy, being covered in blood and stuff, and I can only imagine they were just so frustrated with me, like doing take after take, and and so like that I was like a little tribute to maybe like to probably what I think like my friends probably thought like I was like and just so demanding, because like when you're making movies in your backyard, it's like. Nothing else matters, and you'll do anything to get that, a cool shot, and you and your friends are doing crazy stunts and shit, your parents would freak out over if they saw you doing it. So, yeah.
Well, I think I have time for one more question. I'm going to throw it to you to answer. In Hobo with a Shotgun, Rutger Hauer says, "You grow it, we'll cut it." So why did he not say, "You grow it, we'll mow it"? It just seemed like a rhyme would have been more efficient for like a sales pitch, you know?
I actually never thought of that.
Okay.
No one's ever said that. But that's so amazing you said that. I can't remember. I think it was something that was done on set. Like I feel like if I remember correctly, we were trying to come up with like what's the slogan going to be, and it may have been Rugger who like pitched it. So I think it is that way because he said it that way.
Well, he's pretty good at coming up with his own dialogue.
Yeah.
So the other question I was going to ask you is, you did the music for a short called "Discrimination of a Zombie."
Oh my God!
Which was it's so charming
That's
and classic.
crazy.
So it was like. But you let it was Andrew Morgan McPherson did the music to this?
Yeah.
So what was how did you get
Oh my God.
looped in?
We went to college together. He's also from Nova Scotia, and he does all the soundtrack for Dark Side of the Ring, my TV show. And so we've done 30 documentaries that he's done all the music for on that. And the new show we got, Tales from the Territories, he's doing all the music from that. And we're just like kindred spirits. Like we can just we know what the other person's thinking without even having to say it. And he is so musically talented. But we worked on the music for like a year and started making music for the movie during prep.
Okay.
And so I had music on set that I was blasting to like create a vibe. And so that's one of the things I'm mostly proud about with the movie is that the music is so awesome, and I wanted people to just be like rocking out to the movie, bobbing their heads, and just just feeling the musical visual experience of it all.
Excellent. Well, he'll make it. You watch it. Check out Kids vs. Aliens next year from Shudder and RLJE.
Yeah, check it out.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.